Brother, let me tell you something most men don't even notice until it's already too late. Right now, quietly, without headlines, without applause, without anyone really talking about it, men are changing. Not out of hate, not out of bitterness, but out of clarity. There's a silent revolution taking place, and you can feel it if you pay attention. More and more men are stepping back from the endless chase, from the games, from the constant pressure to prove themselves. They're no longer interested in begging for scraps of affection or twisting themselves into knots just to be tolerated. They've realized something far more powerful, that peace, purpose, and self-respect are worth more than any fleeting validation. And once a man sees that truth, he can never go back. First thing, men are realizing peace is priceless. You know what most men don't realize until much later in life? That peace is not just comfort, it's survival. For years, men have lived in constant tension, arguments that never end, accusations with no foundation, silent treatments that drag on for days. And after a while, you start to realize, this isn't love, this is chaos. The world already demands so much of a man. Work, responsibility, constant pressure to perform, and then at home, more fighting, more walking on eggshells. Eventually you wake up and say, why am I sacrificing my sanity just to keep someone else entertained? That's when men start guarding peace like treasure, because they understand peace isn't just nice to have, it's the difference between living and slowly dying inside. Second thing, men are rejecting emotional blackmail. Think about how many men have been conditioned to chase after affection like it's a prize they have to earn. If she withholds love, he has to work harder. If she pulls away, he has to prove himself. It's manipulation disguised as passion. But here's the turning point. Men are waking up to the truth that real love isn't conditional. If someone only respects you when you bend, when you beg, when you break, that's not love at all, that's control. And when a man finally recognizes that he's been living inside someone else's emotional maze, he stops running in circles. He steps out of the maze completely. That's not weakness, that's strength. Because the moment you stop chasing is the moment you start leading your own life. Third thing, men are no longer afraid of solitude. For decades, men have been told that if you're single, if you're alone, you're failing. Movies, ads, and society constantly scream at men that their worth is measured by who they can keep next to them. But solitude changes a man. At first it feels empty. At first it feels lonely. But slowly, that silence becomes strength. Alone, you start hearing your own thoughts again. Alone, you remember what you actually want, not what you've been told to want. Solitude teaches a man that being alone is far better than being drained. It teaches him that love isn't supposed to be an escape from loneliness. It's supposed to add to the fullness he already carries. And once he learns that, he stops fearing solitude and starts protecting it. Fourth thing, men are done with conditional respect. There was a time when a man's role as protector, builder, and provider was honored. Today, too often, those same qualities are brushed off as expected. And when a man asks for respect in return, he's told he's insecure, controlling, or fragile. But here's the shift. You don't have to keep proving your worth to someone who refuses to see it. Real respect isn't given when it's convenient. It's given because it's deserved. And men are starting to realize that constantly having to earn respect from someone who should already value you is nothing but slow erosion of the soul. They're done proving, they're done begging. They'd rather walk alone with dignity than stay partnered without respect. Fifth thing, men see the true cost of modern relationships. Look around, divorce rates, custody battles, men losing their homes, their children, their futures in an instant. And the story is always the same. He gave everything, only to lose it all when she changed her mind. Men are paying attention now. They're learning from their fathers, their brothers, their friends, and they're starting to ask, why should I gamble my entire life on someone else's emotions? It's not about being scared of love. It's about recognizing the reality. In today's system, the cost of commitment often outweighs the return. When you finally accept that truth, walking away isn't fear. It's wisdom. Sixth thing, men are investing in themselves. Here's what's beautiful. Every ounce of energy men use to spend chasing validation is now being redirected into building something real. The gym, their businesses, their skills, their passions. They're not buying flowers for someone who barely notices anymore. They're buying books, courses, tools, tickets, opportunities. And the irony? The moment they stop chasing women, women notice them more than ever. Because a man on his purpose radiates an energy that can't be faked. But by the time women notice, many men no longer need what's being offered. They have built a life so fulfilling that validation is irrelevant. Seventh thing, men are walking away in silence. This shift isn't happening through protests or arguments, it's happening quietly. No long texts explaining why, no dramatic speeches, just absence. Men are simply choosing not to show up where they aren't valued. And that silence is louder than anything they could have said. Because the truth is, women rarely notice how much a man carries until he's gone. The bills that get paid, the small problems solved before they ever became big, the emotional steadiness that kept her grounded, all of it fades the moment he disappears, and then, suddenly, she feels it, the weight of his absence. Eighth thing, men have discovered detachment. This is the most powerful shift of all. Anger still connects you, bitterness still ties you, but detachment? Detachment is freedom. When a man no longer needs her approval, no longer fears her leaving, no longer attaches his worth to her validation, he becomes untouchable. That kind of strength cannot be faked, it cannot be manipulated, it cannot be controlled. And ironically, the very moment he no longer needs her is the moment she wants him the most. But by then, it's too late, because he's already chosen himself. Ninth thing, men are rediscovering brotherhood. Something else is happening that no one talks about. As men step back from draining relationships, they're reconnecting with other men, building brotherhoods, communities, businesses, movements. They're finding strength not in validation from women, but in the loyalty of brothers who walk the same path. And that shift is powerful, because a man surrounded by strong men no longer needs external approval. He builds, he grows, he thrives, and his circle lifts him higher than any fleeting romance ever could. So here's the truth, brother. Men aren't walking away because they've given up on love. They're walking away because they've given up on illusions. They've stopped signing contracts where only one side benefits. They've stopped trading their sanity for scraps of affection. And once a man realizes his time, his peace, and his purpose are priceless, he doesn't play the same game anymore. He builds, he grows, he evolves, and his absence, his silence, becomes the loudest message of all, because nothing unsettles someone more than realizing the man they thought was replaceable was actually irreplaceable all along. Remember this, choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's survival, and in a world that thrives on keeping men empty, the man who fills his own cup is untouchable.